First of all, both Sunday and tonight, obviously you've looked a bit more like yourself. Are you starting to feel like your game and your body are coming around as you're used to?
I think I said this the other day, just like I feel like every game it just gets a little bit better, like find your rhythm again, find your game conditioning again. So overall body felt good today.
Two elite defenses the last two nights, different times, but your offense struggled at varying times against both. How would you assess where the team's sort of half-court offense is at this stage?
I mean, I think overall we're doing a good job, but there's definitely room for improvement. I think, I don't know, sometimes we almost get in our own way because we're so used to, like, when we're playing fast, when we're getting these steals, like the offense comes free. But then when we get into half court and we let other teams be physical with us, we don't play with the same intensity that we do on defense. On offense. So I think that's definitely one of those areas that we got to improve on. Just keep adding to our arsenal on offense. Like, I think we have a couple of things figured out pretty well, but then when teams start taking that away, like, what's like the next thing that we can go to? Or when we play against different matchups, like, how can we exploit different defenses in different ways?
What were some of the benefits for you of coming off the bench rather than starting?
I really don't mind either way. I think today it was a matchup thing. They wanted CMB to be really aggressive with Wemby. Like I said, I don't mind. Like I like playing with the bench unit. I like playing with the starters. So I'll figure out a way either way.
Going against Wemby, what were you trying to focus on? They only finished with 12 points tonight.
Like I said, I think our focus was to be physical with them in general, particularly Wemby, because we know when he finds his rhythm, when he can play free, that he's obviously a really good basketball player, a really good shot maker. So we just try to make it as hard on him as possible, and physicality was a big part of that.
They had that big run to start the fourth. What do you feel like they were doing to eventually get some momentum and get back in the game?
To be honest, I don't remember exactly. I think we gotta look at the film. They made a couple shots during that run. We couldn't really get our offense going, but like I said, I gotta look at it again.
Obviously, you, CMB, and Sandro have different play styles. How effective and helpful is it for you to be able to sort of rotate through against a guy like Wemby and a team that has a lot of depth and a big?
Obviously, like, it's very beneficial for us. To be able to show different styles of play, like different styles of defense as well. Hopefully we can even expand on that.
Those are two elite defenses the last two nights, good stretches against both, but probably not the overall results. What would you say the state of the team's half-court offense is right now?
State of the team's half-court offense? I got to go back and watch both games. I really haven't got a chance to watch fully. I usually watch them both, but back-to-back. And then obviously just finishing this game. I can't really answer it. I don't know. I feel like sometimes we're great. Obviously, we're great in transition. That's where we, make our bread and butter. And then turning defense to offense is, another thing that we're really good at. But I have to go back and watch it.
I was just saying on that topic, maybe you don't bring the physicality you bring on, not you specifically, the team. You don't bring that physicality on offense that you bring on defense. How do you play with that physicality on offense?
That's a fair assessment. I think these last, I'd probably say this last week or so since the Detroit game, you've kind of seen like a playoff level physicality from some good teams. I think this is good for us. Just especially me, I feel like just the last couple games I've gone against some really good defenders. This is good for me and for the rest of our team. Just being able to get a taste of that, that experience of teams that are being really physical, especially the good teams. And we've kind of taken that, to our defense end. So this will be good to learn. Kind of like I said, the experience. There's nothing better than the experience.
5 blocks for Wemby tonight. What's sort of going through your head on the offensive end when you know there's a guy like that in the paint?
you try to be aggressive as you can, but just knowing that he's coming to block shots, make extra passes, try to get them in like a blender situation. He's leaving his man every time. So corners, try to find corners, floaters. You just got to try to find open men, honestly.
This team has a lot of wings as well. Like, you know, it wasn't Wemby's night, but tons of guards, wings. Like, what makes them unique? You know, they're really making some noise in the Western Conference this year.
No, they're a really good team, really well coached. And then they got great guard play, great wings along with Wemby. So, you know, they're a tough team to play against. But I think just they made 17 threes. You make 17 threes with a 7'5" guy blocking shots, you got a good chance to win. So, you know, I guess we'll see him again next year. Or, yeah.
I mean, you're talking about playing against quality teams, not many playing better than that. Are you kind of satisfied that you were to provide such a good performance, or frustrated?
I'm satisfied but not happy. If I can describe that. I thought that on a back-to-back, playing against such a good team, we gave them a hell of a fight over there. I thought that we did really, really good job, made it really hard on their main guys, you know, did as well as you can do against Wembanyama. So I thought that we fought for 48 minutes in this game. Unfortunately, they made some tough shots down the stretch, and we missed some of the shots that usually we were making. So I'm really proud of the fight of our team, and we got to continue just like studying, analyzing, getting better, finding the ways to improve how we're closing the games.
What went into the decision to start the fourth quarter without Scotty and Brandon?
Brandon is never starting the fourth quarter because he played full third quarter. It would be a little bit too much for him to play. And Scotty, he was really playing through the pain. So he was in constant communication with us, and he was saying, if you guys don't have to play me, you know, just try to keep me on the bench. So we had that back and forth communication, and, you know, we had at that point 12-point lead, and it came down to 5, and then we got him back. But literally, he was playing on one leg this game.
Do you feel like that run that they went on to start the fourth kind of swung the momentum a little bit there?
Not necessarily. I thought that we found the momentum back there. I thought that we fought in the fourth quarter. As I said, I think that they really made some tough shots down the stretch, some contested corner threes, and us on the other side. Like, I thought that some of the shots that we were usually making that were open, they didn't go through. That's game of basketball.
Wemby kind of changes the geometry of the court, and you guys went to a lot of mid-range shots. When you look at this game, do you kind of pat yourself on the back for that adaptability, or would you have liked to try and muscle your way into the paint a little bit more often?
There were a couple of possessions that we did something that we talked about, kind of like trying to put him in a tough situation that he cannot be rim protector, and I thought that we did good job there. Some of those shots we missed layups, unfortunately, but against him at the rim, as you could see down the stretch, it was his block shots that kind of like swing the game as well, you know. So you got to be able to make some really floaters, to make some mid-range shots in order to play against a team like this. And also their defense, the way they're playing defense is there is not a lot of help defense there. They're just building out a lot, which makes it you got to make decisions. You got to be really quick with the ball and make good decisions with the ball, which means to beat your man and then get a good shot.
It seemed like Jakob looked a lot more like himself tonight. Obviously, the defense was very nice, but I'm curious on offense, late in games, does he help you kind of diversify a little bit with what you're doing down the stretch with him in the screening, maybe more pick and roll? Like, how does he help the late game offense?
He helps a lot. First of all, his understanding of the game and how he sets a screen and where he sets a screen for his teammates. I think that's very, very important. And then again, his ability to roll and play in the pocket is very well documented. So he's finding the his rhythm back. And as you could see, like he usually is like making all of those shots, shooting at like 80% clip. Tonight he missed a couple of those floaters that usually he's making, but really, really happy with his progress and the way he's trending.
What was the strategy of starting CMB over Yak?
just like we wanted a little bit more aggressiveness from CMB against Wembanyama to set a tone up top, and then we knew that Cornet is coming off the bench, and they're going to play some double big lineups, so we wanted Jakob to come off the bench and help us in that regard, and he does not have any problem with that. He understands what is the need of the team, his ultimate team guy, so whatever team needs, he's going to do it.
I know we only got to see CMB on Wemby for about 3 quarters there, but what were your impression about how he guarded up and tried to defend him?
He really impressed me in the first time when we played. He did some really positive and good stuff, and I thought that today he made another step forward. Just understanding who Wembanyama is and how he plays and how we can be disruptive. I thought that he did a really, really good job.
His thumb, is it just something that it's going to be painful like all season? It's just something he has to deal with, pain management? Like today, obviously, he gets hit again.
That's what it is. It's like it's sore, and every time when he gets hit, it's just like it's a lot of pain, and he just needs to manage that pain. Over here, we have a couple of days before we play the next game, and hopefully it's going to help him with the healing process. But it's something that he's going to be dealing with for the rest of the year.
Obviously, you're a coach and not a fan, but do you find it interesting sitting on the side of a game like this and watching like Scotty and CMB defend by attacking the dribble and picking up earlier versus Wemby just waits till it's like in the air? I guess the diversity of play styles is pretty unique.
That's when we talk about NBA and like people like you guys and then coaches. NBA is very, very diverse. Like every team, there is a different headaches that you have in preparation for every team. Every team has to be game plan a little bit different. That narrative that every team is playing the same way, I think that's complete BS. And I'm really, really excited when I'm seeing our guys, how they're compete on the ball. And tonight it was Scotty and CMB and Quickley and Jamal and Jacoby. Our whole team played to that level of standard. And I think that our fans are recognizing that how hard this team is playing, and that's why we have the best fans, and they're coming over here supporting us every night.
You mentioned CMB in the first 3 quarters. What were you guys trying to focus on down the stretch against Wembanyama to really contain him to 12 points for the game?
He really not allowing him to catch the ball in the spots that he feels comfortable, showing a crowd, making him play in the crowd, not allowing him to be easy for him to play make and to get to the rim. I thought that we did a good job with that.